Hello, and welcome to Engineer's Box. Now today, I've got something pretty cool to show you. What we're going to be looking at is ambient noise and sounds. So, if you guys have been following me on Twitter and or watched the live stream that I did earlier today, you'll have known that I've been working on this for a little while. Now, it's been an interesting ride considering that it's a little bit difficult to do biome detection in this game. Now at the moment what I'm using is Dragon014, his creation that is used for detecting biomes, and I've hybrided it a little bit so that I can use it to do some sounds. Now, the sounds that I'm actually using are a mixture, so some of them are from, actually the majority of them are from a mod called Matmos. Now this used to be in Tekkit Classic, if you guys ever played that. And it also used to be a fairly popular mod for just ambient sounds. So that's the majority of the sounds for there. A couple of them are also just pulled off the internet, just some freebies, no copyright sort of things that are pretty cool. But at the moment, I've only got one kind of section of biomes done. Now, this green here, if we take a look over here, we've got the green is kind of everything that's like savanna, plains, forest, all that sort of stuff. The yellow is the two sand biomes. The brown is sort of mountainous biomes. The red is going to be the nether, and white is going to be snow biomes, or snow-oriented biomes. So at the moment, all I've got done is this kind of green section, which is for all of the plains, forests, all of those sort of things. So why don't we actually have a listen to what we've got going on here? So I'll just activate this and we'll have a listen. Alrighty, so now that you've actually heard what that soundscape sounds like, so it's a bit of a mixture of all sorts of things. Now, there's a couple of sounds that obviously need tweaking. Like there's one kind of really disjointed sound that's got a couple, it's really abrupt to start and finish that needs a bit of smoothing, things like that. So it's a work in progress. It's nowhere near done. But either way, I think it sounds pretty cool personally. Now, the command blocks behind this are a lot. Now, the reason there is a lot is because I've taken every single part and made it its own little stream so that I can kind of work around with it and things like that. It makes it easy to work with. Now, normally this would not be this large. So, what we've actually got going on here is this stack here. Basically, what we've pretty much is just testing for these items here around the player. Obviously, this is supposed to be water. Now, in this case, these don't really matter. None of these really matter, except for this one here and the wood. They're the only ones that really matter. So, basically, we're just testing for those in a fill command around the player. So, replacing specific things with wool, and then replacing it with the replacing the thing with wool, and then replacing that with the original, so that we can actually tell that it's there. And then from there, if those two execute, then we're just giving a time active, which basically starts the sets of timers which work for these sounds, which kind of give us slightly like a randomized sort of effect. Basically, when that happens, these are all turned on, pretty much. And then the rest of this executes, so in this case, so when that's on, this will start counting. It'll start counting up until it reaches 500. Then it'll execute and play this specific sound here, windmill wind loop 1, at a volume of 100, pitch 0, and the minimum at 1. So basically, the reason it's 100, you might think that, well, that's a lot, is because it's supposed to spread across the entire map, so you can hear it throughout wherever you are. And basically, 100 for a reason, also because all of the sounds have been set so that they stay at about 23 if you have a look at the levels, which is really low, which means they're really, really low amplitudes and things like that, so you actually can boost this a lot and push it across the entire map without deafening people. Now that happens for each single sound, and there's a couple of different layers. This first one is all the wind sounds, this second one is all the bird sounds, this third one is insects and other creepy crawlies, and this last one is just an extra bird here, because I decided why not. So that's the basic gist of it. Now, pretty much what the outline of what we're going to be doing for the rest of them follows a sort of pattern similar to this. Now, mountains typically you can find emeralds in. Now, that's quite useful considering that this creation by Dragon uses emeralds to actually identify that you're in a mountainous region. So this will be the identifier for mountains. The bushes and the leaves and things like that don't really matter because they're all encompassed within the one we have at the moment. And for the other ones, so for watersides and rivers and things like that, we'll be using either water, ice. So actually there's two different types of water, flowing water and still water. Now flowing water will designate that it's an underground river because it'll be flowing across from a single source block, and still water will designate that it's above ground, so we can distinguish between the two and have different sounds based off that. This one right here, this is going to be within like an iced over river sort of thing, in a snowy biome, so there'll be like subsections to it, and then this will encompass all of the snowy biomes, so it'll be a generic sound for this one, and then we'll break it down to the icy parts. So I think this should pretty much cover majority of them. Now obviously there's a couple which I didn't have out there, which is the sandy biomes, and those are just, well, they're designated by the fact that there is an abundance of sand, dead bushes, and or red sand, hardened clay. Those are the two for those sandy biomes, like here. And also hell will be, otherwise known as nether, obviously, is pretty much just looking for netherrack. When that happens, those sounds are played for there. So it's not too complicated. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy to comprehend. But it's kind of in a development stage at the moment. So for this section, I'm pretty much done with the forest, plains, and things like that. There's a couple of bit of bits of refining I'd like to do, and just a bit of tidying up. Then I'll move on to the mountain section and all the other ones. So I'm hoping that this should sound quite different and give a sort of feel to Minecraft that it's been lacking, considering there is no real ambiance to it. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this. That's a bit of a short video today, but yeah, if you guys have any ideas or suggestions for what I can do for this, then feel free to chuck a comment down or message me on Twitter, anything like that. But no further ado, hope you guys enjoyed this, and as always, catch you guys in the nearest of futures.